All right, my friends, it's time for another fantastic Revit tip. All right, you guys ever work with families and they've got shape handles? Like you can just reach down there and grab a shape handle and pull it or push it or lift it, and it changes the shape of the object. Today, we're going to go into those shape handles. I know you've seen them and I know you use them. And I'm going to explain why some families have the shape handles and some don't. Okay, so before we get going, jumping into Revit, I just want to say one thing. You're number one, if a parameter is a type parameter, you're not going to see a shape handle, period. Okay, you will only see shape handles on instance parameters. But sometimes you don't get a shape handle. Why not? Okay, that's why we're doing this video. All right, so here we go. Let me share my screen with you. Hey, I did it. I shared my screen. Just that easy. Okay, so here we go. Let me get my face a little bit bigger so you can see me. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the plan view of this building. What building? What are you talking about? Okay. You guys know what building I'm talking about. This is my, how do you make this? Um, there we go. There we go. We go to 3D and we look wait, there's the building we're talking about. Everybody knows it's the simplest little architect's office in the middle of nowhere land that I made up. Okay. I don't actually work in this architect's office. And there's lots of design flaws, I'm sure, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about shape handles today. So let's get a grip, people. Okay, let's just make a family and we'll go there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. I'm going to hit File and then I'm going to hover over New and click Family. And wait for it. There we go. The different templates pop up. And I'm just going to keep it simple. There's a lot of templates. We're just going to open up a generic model. Okay, boom, open. When it opens up, wait for it. Ah, there it is. Okay, we're looking top down on this thing. Keeping it simple, I'm going to make an extrusion, just a box. We're going to do a box, okay? And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to start right here at the center intersection and just drag out any distance. I don't even care how big it is. It doesn't matter. Okay. You can add parameters all over the place in Revit. You can add them, number one, right here when you're in the sketch mode. You are in the sketch mode. We're sitting here drawing the sketch of an object or the shape, whether it's an extrusion or a blend or a swept blend or a sweep, whatever. You can put your parameters right here inside the sketch mode. Okay, if you didn't know that, I'm just letting you know. So watch this. I'm going to hit dimension, DI for dimension, and I'm going to dimension from the reference plane over to this side. Okay, and there she is. 3'1", who cares? Okay. If you click on that dimension, it says it doesn't have a label, which means it's not connected to any parameter. Okay. So if I want to connect it to a parameter, I can hit this little button right there to create a new parameter. Okay. And so here we go. We're just going to call it width. WIDTH, width. And I'm going to make it, remember, we're not going to get shape handles if I leave it as a type parameter. I want shape handles. So I'm going to go instance parameter. Okay. I'm going to hit OK. So now look at that. Width is 3'1". And I am going to flex this. Flex means check it and make sure it works. Okay. So I'm going to look at this. Width, I'm going to set it. Whoops. Width, I'm going to set it to 5 feet. Okay. 5. Okay. And look at that. It changed to 5. So it works. This parameter works. Okay. So since it works, I'm going to finish my sketch with the green checkbox. And your parameter and the dimension disappear because they're not here in this finished editing mode. they exist inside the edit mode, which is kind of crazy, but they're down inside. If I click it and say edit extrusion, we're going to see our parameter again. It's inside the sketch. You guys with me? Okay, finish. Okay, so let's save this thing. Save it. Let's call it something really powerful like Family One. Oh, that sounds like a good name. Yes, we're going to call it Family One. Save. And we're going to load into our project and close it. Okay, so here we go. In fact, why? If anyone from Autodesk is watching right now, why does it always say you can't create this kind of element in this view? Okay, in the current mode. Why didn't you just leave it on the view I was in? I was in a perfectly good view. Okay, I'm going to go back to the plan where I was. I'm going to place my component right here. Whoa, that's it right there. You guys see that? That's our box. And if I click it, there's our shape handle. Super cool, but not really. Watch what happens if I grab the shape handle. Basically, I'm just moving the box around. I'm going to move it out. Just it moves in line. You know, I have to, if I move the box to a different location, that's great. But if I grab the shape handle, it only moves it laterally. I guess I could hit the space bar and rotate it, and I could move it that way and rotate it and move it back. But that's kind of limiting. I thought I would have a little bit more control over this thing. I really did. All right. That's not the way to put in and get your parameter to work. Let's just work with me here. I'm going to hit Edit Family. We did get a shape handle though. All right. I'm going to go to the reference level, so we're looking top down on this thing. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to edit the extrusion. I'm going to get that dimension out of there, out of the sketch mode. Yes, you can put them in there, but we would have to do some other stuff to get this thing to work how we want it. So let's just take it out of there for now. You can put your dimension right here, DI, from this plane over to the edge of the geometry. And if I click on it, I'm going to tell it to be the width. Okay. So I just, now it's our, what do you call it? Our parameter is outside of the sketch mode. It's on the geometry. So let's just check it. Let's see if it works. I'm going to go and here we go. Let me just come over here. I am going to change the width to 3 feet. Okay, apply. Hey, it worked. Did you see that change? Change it to 4 feet, apply. Oh yeah, it's working. So we've got an instance parameter on this object and it works, okay? Load into the project and close it. Do you want to save it? Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Overwrite the old one, okay? Overwrite the existing version, yes. So now, when we click our object, what? No shape handle. What? What I have found, friends, is that when I hook up shape handles just to the geometry, I don't get the shape handle. When I hook up a parameter just to the geometry, I don't get the shape handle like I want. Okay? I want it, and I don't get it. So let's go fix that. So that's, I put in a parameter, and I'm serious. If I, let me just move my face. If I click on the box, the parameter is here. I can change it to 4 feet and it works. I can change to 1 foot and it works. It works. But I don't get shape handles and that's what I want. All right. So I'm going to hit Edit Family. We're going back in here to fix this thing. Ref level. Okay, we're looking down the top level of this thing. Instead of connecting your dimension and your parameter to the geometry, I'm going to delete it. I am going to create a reference plane, and not just so that you can have handles, friends. It's best practice. Let me just tell you right now, it's best practice to control reference planes and then attach geometry to the reference planes. as often as you can. If you want shape handles especially. So here we go. Wait for it. Okay, take a look at this. Align lock. Go over here, you. Okay, so I just aligned and locked the side of the box. So if I move this reference plane, do you see how that box changes size? Okay, now I need to get my dimension, DI, on that to that. So it's a reference plane to a reference plane. That's the key. Okay, and then I tell this, I click on it and highlight this dimension string, and on the drop down, I'm going to apply the width label, and it moved. You saw it work. Okay, I don't have to belabor it anymore. It worked. So now here we go. Load into the project and close it. Do you want to save it? Yeah. Do you want to overwrite it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Override existing one. Yeah. Now there's our object. Moment of truth. It's moment of truth. Click on it. Whoa, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, look. Boom, 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 boom. You can move these shape handles wherever you want now. Why? Because it's reference plane to reference plane. You guys with me? Okay. Let's put this box back in the building. Okay, it's sitting in the building. Let's take our section plane and put it right through the box, okay? And then we're going to go to that section, go to view. All right, so where is it? Aha, there it is on the floor. Okay, those, the shape handles work in section and elevation also. I don't have to be cutting through the box for this to work, okay? Let's go back to the plan, and I'm going to move the box out so that, look, the section cut is not going through the box. Okay, so let's go back to the section cut. And when I highlight it, you can still use those as long as the object has reference, has a parameters and these little grips. I've been calling them shape handles, but they're grips. Huh, all this time I've been calling them the wrong thing. Okay, these are grips. You can grab these little grips, these shape handle grips, whatever you want, even in elevation. So they work in elevation. They don't work in 3D. If I pop up to a 3D view, you can't see them. They just disappear. Okay. But you can use them if you're cutting through the object, or if you are see the object off in the distance. Just saying. Now, let's get a parameter for vertical to make this thing taller. Okay. So let's hit I highlight it, hit edit family, and wait for it. Boom. Okay. Here's our ref level, top down. You got it. Okay. Width. We're not going to put length or the other parameters in the plan view because we want to focus on making it operational vertically. So I'm going to go to the front view. So I'm looking at this thing in the front. Okay. There she is. And if I click it, these little shape handles I can drag this box around to the height I want, or I can type the height I want over in my extrusion end, like 3 feet, boom. But I want to control it back in the project with a shape handle. That's why we're here today, okay? So you guessed it, we're going to put a dimension, DI, down here on the reference level, up here to the top of the box, 3 feet, and we're going to call it height, okay? We're going to give it a new parameter, and we're going to call it height, H-E-I-G-H-E-I-G-H-D, height. And then I'm going to make it an instance parameter. You knew I was going to do that. I'm going to hit OK. OK. And now you see the parameter is attached to it right there. Bam. It's working. OK. So here we go. I am going to go to flex this thing. Flexible. Be flexible, people. I am going to flex it. Height. I'm going to change it to 1 foot. Apply. Oh, yeah, it worked. Back to 2 feet. Apply. Oh, it worked. It's working. Okay, it's working. So now that we know it works, flex your families before you load them back in, because you want to know if they work before you find out later. Okay, load into project and close. Do you want to save? Yeah. It already exists. Yeah. Don't bother me. Okay, here we go. Wait for it. Overwrite the existing version. Yeah. So here it is. Hey, where's my shape handle? Because I put the dimension to the geometry and I don't get a shape handle. The information can be changed, friends, over here in the height. Make it 1 foot. It works. Make it 4 foot or 5 foot. It works. It works, but I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. I want shape handles. That's why we're doing this video. Okay, so pick the object, going back into the family. This time we're going to make a reference plane and connect to it. Front view. Get rid of that other one. Here we go. Watch this. Create reference plane, strike a line, doesn't matter how high. Attach the geometry like AL, align and lock. Go here, and it's locked. I have it preset to automatically lock when I do that, which is cool. So now if I grab this reference plane, friends, and move it, the geometry is moving. You got to see it for yourself. But I'm going to control it with a DI, and I'm going to click and wait for it. Wait, dimension. Okay, we're going to dimension off of the reference level up to here, and going to tell that dimension to be, wait for it, height. And it moved, it worked. Yes, we've got a dimension string up to the reference plane, and it should work, right? So I'm going to hit save my, do you want to, it exists. Yes, override it. Load it into the project and close. Overwrite the existing one, yay. Here we go. I click on it. What? Where is my reference plane? Where is my shape handle? Okay, this happens all the time, and it's mainly, probably the biggest reason that I brought you to this place in our adventures today. Because sometimes you put it to a reference plane and you don't see it. And you're like, Mike said, if I put a dimension up to a reference plane, it was going to work. And I don't see it. Now I'm mad. I'm going to leave a bad comment on that video. All right. I'll tell you why. Because when we put this one left to right for the width, we went from a reference plane to a reference plane. It's not what we did when we did the height. We went from the level up to a reference plane. And then you're not going to get your shape handle if you do that. So let me show you where we went wrong. I'm going to hit Edit Family. Okay. There we go. We're in the Edit Family. There's a top-down view. Width is 5 feet or whatever. Front view. There it is. Height. Now, the top, that's a reference plane, but the bottom is the level. It's the level marker. I connected it to the wrong object. So watch this. Let me just get rid of that. I'm going to click on the level. See that? I've highlighted the level. I'm going to grab this little dot here. I'm going to shorten it. And you're going to see that there is indeed a reference plane down here on the level. It's down across on the bottom. And I told you once before, I'm going to tell you again, this works to get the shape handles if you go from a reference plane to a reference plane. That's how it works. Okay, so just saying. So we're going to do it now. Dimension string, DI on the keyboard, reference plane to a reference plane. Okay. And if I lift this one up, I can lift it up to whatever I want. But if I tell this dimension that it is height, it works. Okay, you saw it work. You guys saw it. It works. I'm going to load it back in the project and close it. Do you want to save it? Yes. Do you want to override it? Yes. And the moment of truth is about to happen. Bam. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. You get your shape handle? I can make it whatever shape I want now. All right. That's enough fun for right now. I wanted to show you instance parameters. Sometimes you get the shape handles and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get those grips and sometimes you don't. And I hope I showed you the reason why, so that when you guys are making your own really complicated families, you have success, okay, with the instant parameters and the little grippies. All right, that's about enough of that. So I hope you guys learned something. I'm gonna stop sharing right now. Bam, stop share. I'm back. You guys have a fantastic day. And until we meet again, I'm going to try to find this. There we go. All right, here we go. Happy Revitting.